Hello there. If you like truth, you'll like it here. Welcome. If you don't, or if you believe in groupthink or bullying others into believing the popular opinion, then this isn't the place for you. So go ahead and just cancel me now. On this channel, we don't discuss my truth or your truth. We discuss the truth, and no topic is off limits. So, log in, like, subscribe, get comfy, and comment. It's nice to have you here. So let's talk. Dear Melody Shari, full disclosure, I am not a Melometer. It's not you, it's me. I simply don't fangirl over anyone. But let me tell you what you've done for me and why I'm so proud of you. I am a fire sign with a fiery temper. I'm working on it, and God is working on me. But in the meantime, I am liable to slap someone silly and or sideways if the situation calls for it. At least I used to be. As I said, God and the society that will shoot first and ask questions later are working on me. That and the fact that I have too much to lose. All that to say, I am working on being less fiery and more unbothered. But it is a tall order, and I often fall short. More often than I'd like. The truth is, in addition to being type A and very opinionated, I have a very low tolerance for stupidity and an even lower tolerance for bullying and bad behavior. If someone is doing the wrong thing, I say something, and I do something about it. I do not tolerate disrespect in any way. This has allowed me to command a certain level of respect in my life. But it has, in all honesty, also held me hostage to my feelings and emotions on more occasions than I'd care to admit. For example, if someone is doing something that needs to be checked, I will do the checking, often letting it ruin my day and mood. Because I have a voice and I'm not afraid to use it, I often feel I must use it. And this is where you come in. I used to watch your show until I couldn't. It got too toxic and unhealthy, and I turned it off. Your ex-husband's behavior repulsed me and made me feel an anger that felt out of my control. It's not that I was so invested in the show per se, it's that I don't like bad behavior to go unchecked. And for the longest, it seemed like his wasn't being checked and handled. I saw this man-child defame and malign you and get rewarded with a seeming allegiance of y'all's friends. I saw this man-child say the most god-awful things to you about his mistress, and I wanted to slap him with my whole hand, right after punching him square in the throat. I saw him break up his marriage and try to tear down your sense of self and worth with an arrogance I had never seen before, and I was beside myself. I kept waiting to see him fall, and fall badly. But it wasn't happening, at least not fast enough for my taste, and I didn't like that. I hurt for you. And then to top it off, the icing on the cake was that his dingbat side piece came out of the woodwork and had so much to say. The battery your ex-husband had put in her back was the strongest I had ever seen, and I watched in disgust and bewilderment, absolutely astonished at this cretin's lack of shame. The things she said and the way she acted made me violently angry for you. And I was oh so grateful that I have a faithful husband, because listening to this dim bulb made me realize God still had a mighty work to do in me. Because if I had been in your shoes, I'd be several years into a prison sentence by now. This wildebeest's mere voice is enough to make me see red. So I had to go. But you couldn't. You had to stay. You had to take it. You not only had to hear this vermin's voice, you had to hear her detailed encounters with a man you used to love and shared a life with. You had to take being taunted, privately and publicly, by something that should have never been a part of your life. And when it couldn't get worse, you had to share your children's bloodline with this dog collar. The fact that you refer to her offspring as a sibling to your children is mighty big of you, to me. I am under the impression that more than blood is required to make siblings siblings and someone family. Too many men make babies all up and down the highway and want to have all the children think of each other as siblings when they are nothing more to each other than each a result of their dad's ejaculations. There is no true familial connection, and I resent when one is forced upon them, all because Papa was a rolling stone. But you took the high road. You not only referred to your ex-husband's walking ejaculation as your children's sibling, you were forced to watch your ex-husband parade the child in your face after he got over his rightful shame about the child's existence. I hear people say, you can't be mad at the child. It's not the child's fault, but it's also not your fault or responsibility to welcome your husband's mistake into your life with open arms. Our society is so conditioned to accept promiscuous, undisciplined men who make broken homes all up and down the street that we appease them by pretending all the affected children are siblings and it's all one big happy family, when really they are victims. And they'll likely continue to be, as research shows that children from broken homes often fare worse across all sectors of society. But we don't talk about that. We don't hold these sperm donors accountable for that. We simply sit all the resulting children in a room, gift them the dad's last name, and call them brothers and sisters. The lies, the lies, the lies. Until we demand more and call these broken home perpetrators out, we will remain a broken society, forever behind the curve, getting the short end of the stick and wondering why we never progress as far as others. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, you handled all this with class. Now, the class part isn't unfamiliar to me. As an educated and professional woman, I'm used to having to navigate treacherous and unfamiliar spaces that weren't designed for me to succeed in. And I'm proud to say I do it well. Even when I'm telling someone off, I do it professionally, with the home training I was raised with. But I also don't have to do it publicly, or while being taunted and goaded. Yet, you did. You would be insulted and get online and give all praise to God. You would be ridiculed and get online and give all praise to God, often reflecting on how, in your private time, you were in prayer and or trusting God to see you through. Now, I believe in God, but I also believe in punching people in the throat. And if ever there was a time for someone to get chopped in the throat, kicked in the shin, and pushed down the stairs, it was when your devilish ex-husband and his Grinch-looking side piece was not only taunting you, but also using your kids to get at you. Even if I had been able to move past their bad behavior, when they involved my kids, all bets would have been off. And as I said, I would have been inmate number, don't play with me. But you waited on the Lord to fight your battle. Even after I lost patience with the situation and turned it off for my own mental health. Even when I grew disgusted with the demons coming after you and wanted you to fight back, you waited on the Lord and kept your faith and your dignity and freedom. I would like to think I would have done the same, but I don't know that I could have or that I would have wanted to. That's why many people said your ex-husband's mistress had the right one, because I believe many of us would have handled this another way, and it would not have been the right thing to do. Not only could we have lost our freedom, but we could have lost our destiny, our job well done, given to us from God Almighty as He restored everything we lost and then some. See, I'm convinced that was the point. Your ex-husband and his side devil were purposed to destroy you, to strip you of what God had in store for you. And it would have if you would have taken the bait. But you didn't. You stood strong, sometimes even turning the other cheek, and you waited on God to right the wrong and pour out His blessings on you. And He delivered. I mean, boy, did He deliver. You have reminded me that I don't always have to fight or take it upon myself to right the wrongs. You have reminded me, not that I should need reminding, because God has been so amazingly good in my life, but you have reminded me that God is a just God and He will handle all that needs handling. All we've got to do is get out of His way. You have calmed me down and helped me to remember to rely on God more and not on my own strength. Because in the words of Tamar Braxton, won't He do it? By the way, I believe it's only the beginning. And instead of hurting for you now, I am so ridiculously proud of you and excited for where He will lead you next. Thank you for being a walking testimony. I, and many more of us, are also very, very proud of you. All right, y'all. That's it, and that's all.